Hi everyone, my name is Gabriela from Tulip Art Designs and you are welcome or welcome back to my creative channel here. Today we are doing something a little bit different. So a desert, a landscape, something that I didn't know how it will turn out, and that's the whole thing that I want to teach you. I want to show you how to explore the supplies, I want to show you how to try new things, and I want to show you this in less than 10 minutes. So let's dive in. Before we start, our supplies are watercolor sketchbook. I really like the cold press watercolor paper because it has some texture and it's very nice for me to paint on it, and it's also more friendly for the wet in wet techniques, and these are my favorites. So it's important to use the cold press, and I always recommend to get a good watercolor paper. Watercolor paints, I have my Mary Blue, but you can use any watercolor paints you have. I have two sizes of watercolor brush, and I have 10 and 4. They are round brushes. I have a pen, it's size 02, and it's water resistant, so when I add watercolor on top of it, it will not bleed. Then a jelly roll pen. I really like to use it for highlights in the end, just because I'm using wet in wet techniques. I don't really leave white negative spots, so that's how I get them back onto my page. Then I have water. It's a little bit dirty one. It's fine. Clean water is definitely better. Then a towel and a heat gun. The heat gun is to speed up the process. It's very nice, especially when I'm filming, but it's not completely necessary to have one. You can definitely manage without it. Then I have a clip that can help me hold my pages. And I also have like a reference photo. It's from Unsplash, and it's a very nice and helpful place where we can find reference photos. Now, I think I will start with my big brush. And I want to get first the bottom part. So I really like to first add some watercolor and then using the fine liner to draw on top of it. So today we are doing reverse watercoloring, and I know that we have our road here and we have some land on the side, but that's okay. I really like to try out some new stuff, so let's see. I am getting burnt sienna here, and I will add it here on the side, and because it's wet it means that it will bleed, so I'm adding it here. I'm leaving a rough edge here on the side. I will grab a bit more paint and I will go on the other side. And I go closely, very close to the road. Like this. I'm not bothering if it bleeds. Then I will get some of my Payne's Gray. I try to work quickly because I see my paper starts to dry, and I will add it here and I will leave it to bleed. Then here with the Bailey of my brush, I'm just doing this dry brush effect. That's the first layer. And then for the top part, I will try not to touch the bottom because then it will bleed. So I am just watering the whole page, okay? Our sketchbooks has to be our creative places where we explore and we are not afraid to make mistakes. And then watercolor sketching is the technique that we use to do that, okay? So we are just having fun. We don't stress too much about the result, and we will see what will happen, okay? So we add water, and then for my sky I want something very light blue, and I will just add a few brush strokes like this. Painting skies is definitely something we always need to practice. And probably if it's your first sky, you will not be 100% happy about it. That's okay. Just keep going, okay? Then for my mountains, I will grab again some of the Payne's gray, but then a little bit darker. And I will just touch here on the bottom part. I will try to not touch the ground, but that's okay. Even if it happens, it happens. So it will start bleeding. I go a little bit to the top where I have my mountains. Okay, so this is a very loose kind of a landscape. I want this to dry and then we can add another layer quickly after that. Okay, I will just use one more clip here so my pages will stay flat. Now I will ink my sketch, so I will draw on top of it. So we have one line here, and we also have a middle line here, and we do have a nice horizon here in the back. We can sketch our mountains. The mountains, I am sketching them with less pressure on my pen. Because they are just in the back. Okay. And then what I want to add, there are some small grasses here in the front, so I just think to add them. Let me zoom in a little bit more. So creating this desert landscape is very fun because it can train your eye what I want to sketch and what I want to draw and paint. And because it's watercolor sketching, I don't want to make it too detailed. I don't want to make it too realistic, right? Here I'm gonna add these details on the road. I will add a second line. This kind of a urban landscape thing, sketching, is very nice because We can choose what exactly we want to bring on the page. Maybe we want to draw the flowers or the grass, or we can just want to show the continuous way, the continuous road. So it's very nice to practice our eye for what we want to see on the photo and what we want to sketch. I just have a bit more grasses here in the front and a few dots in the back. Okay. I want to grab my brush number 10 and I just want to take a little bit of Payne's gray to add to my mountains. And here, because we are using different value of the Payne's gray, so a little bit darker, and because it's still transparent, it will get darker and just in the front of the back one. Okay, so this is how we will create a little bit of deepness to our illustration. And let's take a bit more to paint the other mountain on the other side. Okay, and we can even grab darker if we want and just tap it here on the bottom. If it's wet, it should bleed. If it doesn't bleed and you have a hard edge, you can wash your brush, dry the brush and just blend it like this, and then I would go to the end of the mountain. So I will try to not have these hard edges. Okay. All right. I have a little bit of paint here, and what I want to do is to add one brush stroke here on the top. I will dry my brush, I will clean it and dry it, and then I will blend this very quickly before it dries. If it dries out, then I will add water all over this mountain piece here. Okay, then I just want to get a little bit of burnt umber, some brown, and I want to add here a little bit of darker tones around the edge of my road. Okay, just like this. I will grab my Jelly Roll pen and I will add the white details. So I want to add for these lamps a very small touch, so they will pop up. Maybe a small vertical line. I try not to touch wet paint with my pens. And then a middle line. So you could see that every next dash is getting longer and longer. because when you get in the back, with the perspective, it gets smaller and smaller, okay? And then also here on the side, I am adding one tiny line, just like this. And that's all about our dessert. I think I will just leave it like this. So that was it for today. Thank you very much for joining me for this tutorial and for the whole creative journey. Consider subscribing to my channel if you didn't do that yet. And if you need the outlines, they are available on my Patreon. So when you join me there as a member, which is just $5 a month, you can get all of the templates, early access, exclusive classes every month, almost every week, sketchbook tour videos, mini art courses, and a lot of stuff. So it's getting crazy there, and I am so happy for the small group of people we have there. And yeah, I think that's everything for today. I hope to see you next time again. Bye.